Okay guys, today I'm going to be showing you how to create this Beyonce inspired headpiece, so stay tuned. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get started. What you will need will be down in the description box. We're going to start off with the 4-strand rhinestone chain. You're going to measure that. You're going to trim the frillies at the end. Okay, you're going to want to make sure you trim those. And I'm going to do 12 inches from where I would have trimmed that. So you don't have to do 12 inches. You can, depending on how long or where you want the your headpiece to stop, you can go ahead and trim wherever you would like. I measured it on my head and on a mannequin head. I'm going to use wire cutters to cut that across. And then we're going to go ahead and create this ladder effect. So where that ladder is where you're going to connect that 1-strand chain rhinestone. So you're going to want to make sure you do this correctly. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to trim this. Okay, you see there's 4 connected across. I trimmed the 2 in the middle, 4 connected across, and we just kind of kept that going. So that's how we created that ladder. And I'm going to grab my wire cutters and we're going to trim after the 4 are connected, because it's not connected all the way across. So as you can see, it kind of falls off because it's connected to the top. Okay, and that's connected. That second one is connected to the bottom. So trim, and I hope this is making sense, but it'll make sense once I do the other side. It was kind of hard to get this on camera. So cut the top. Okay, you see it's not connected across. You're going to cut the bottom. Okay, so that's how you're going to create this. And if you come across where it's not connected, because some of the pieces it was kind of broken, you can always super glue it as well. So I lost the original footage of me connecting the headpiece. So I have to reshoot it. I'm just going to do a demonstration on how to connect them. The 2 ways you can connect them. So I'm going to use the connectors, which are the 3 pieces at the front. Okay, so we're going to connect them like so. That's the first way. So we just have to put the rhinestones within the connector. So we're going to go ahead and I like to open them up. I use the pliers to kind of squeeze them in the middle part, just to kind of open them up, create a wider area. And then you also have to make sure those 2 little metal legs, those right there, so you have to make sure they're open, because you're going to fold them over the rhinestone, so that's going to hold that in place. And I also add a little bit of glue as well to kind of hold it, just give it some extra holds, because these things slide and they will slide out on you. So you want to put a little glue in there just to kind of create that extra hold. I'm using the Bare Precision Art Glue. I got it off Amazon. It has that little metal spout, so it makes it a little easier, because glue can get really messy. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and add that in there. Okay. Now we're going to place it within that connector. Okay. You're going to want to push it down. Not too hard because the stone will break. I do use the pliers to push it down in the connector, but be careful because they will break. The actual rhinestone will break. It can be a mess, so just make sure you're not using too much pressure. You're going to want to squeeze it and make sure the metal legs are folded over it, just to kind of make sure it's secured, because the rhinestones, those single rhinestone chains, are heavy. So you definitely want to make sure what you're connecting them to is going to hold it. Okay, speaking of the rhinestone chains, so as you can see at the beginning of the video how they're connected, the measurements that I used to cut them, I did 21, 19 and a half, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12. So you can kind of do it however you want to. Those are just the measurements that I used. It kind of, I kind of play with it. Like I said, I had a mannequin head, so I kind of just like, okay, so I'm gonna do this one long, and then I'm gonna do the next one this long, and I just kind of worked from there, just whatever looked best. So we're gonna connect the other side. So I'm gonna do the same thing, add a little glue, put that rhinestone chain in there, and then I'm gonna use the pliers to fold those little metal legs over. Okay. Okay. There we go. Oh, it fell out. So, yes, this is sort of tedious. So, yeah, so every once in a while I would stop and do something else. That's why there's that glue, like I said, on my hands. Because this can get frustrating, but you don't want to get frustrated with this process because, like I said, you have to be kind of gentle with the chains because they will break on you. Okay, same thing. So now we can actually connect it. So I'm going to use this little hoop ring here, or jump ring is what it's called, excuse me. So the jump ring, gonna open it. I just opened it with my nail. Create a little opening, right? And you're gonna go. Okay, slide it. Okay, the other side. You may have to work with it. Like I said, this is a tedious process. Okay, now you're gonna close it. So again, you're gonna grab your pliers. Once I can grip it, I can grab them. There we go. Pliers. Okay, squeeze. And you're gonna be able to see me squeeze this closed too. So there you go. Boom. Okay. Okay. Squeeze. Okay. Okay. And then, so you're going to connect this here, and since this is considered the end, so when you have your actual base piece with, and you've created your ladder, since this is the tail end, you're going to connect it to the very first part of that ladder. And you're just going to kind of keep creating it, those half circles. So, the second piece is going to go through to the next piece after the last piece, the piece before that, if that makes sense. And then you're going to keep doing that to create that headpiece. And you can kind of play with it. You don't have to do it exactly the way that I did it. You can do it however you would like, but let's see here. So now I'm just squeezing it open. And this is a process I was saying before, to open it up a little bit, create that that area for that rhinestone to go. Because sometimes they can be a little stubborn. So by squeezing it, and you flatten out that bottom part too a little bit, so it can fit easier within the connector. Okay, a little glue with that little needle-like spout, which I love so much. So okay, so now we're gonna fit that piece in there. Boom. See, and it goes in there easy because we opened it up a little bit with the pliers. Okay, so now we're gonna squeeze it. Okay. Okay. And close those little metal legs. Okay. Okay, keep squeezing. Okay, so now this is now. Yeah, you got to be patient for this. So you have to open up the legs. What we're gonna do is we're gonna take the rhinestone out. So what I'm doing now is opening up. So the rhinestones are usually held in place by the 4 metal legs, and it's similar to the ones on the connector, right? You see them? So I'm opening them up. The rhinestone just popped out. So you see the. So if you turn it to the side, you see that little opening. Okay, so now that little opening, I'm just gonna pull that apart, right? Because we're going to fit that round piece of the connector in that opening. Okay, so I did add a little glue in here just to kind of create, hold it in place a little better. Let's see here. You see it? You see that opening? So that's where the connector is going to go. So you're going to kind of turn it to the side and slide it in there after I put a little glue. And just make sure you don't let that other end come out, because there's a metal piece that connects it to the actual chain. So it's connected, it's a chain clearly. So you're gonna make sure that that piece doesn't come out. Okay, there we go. Okay, you see how that fits in there? So you want to make sure it's laying flat, because you're not going to be able to get the diamond in there if it's not laying flat. So now we're going to put, or not the diamond, the rhinestone. Okay, we're not that fancy over here. So we're going to go ahead and throw that in there. Perfect. And then you're going to go ahead and close the little 4 legs. You want to make sure you don't bend them up too much, because it's a mess trying to get the rhinestone back in there. So just be careful when you're doing that as well. Let's see here. Closing it. I'm squeezing it a little bit, because remember we opened it up in order to fit that piece in there, that metal piece. So now that it's in there, we're going to squeeze it back closed so it doesn't come out. There we go. Boom. Close the 4 metal legs. Okay. Okay. Okay, so this is the second way of doing this. And you can do this in the front and do the rest with the using the, what is it called, the hoop ring, because it does make it easier. And the hoop rings are a little bit more secure. So because I found that my hoop ring did not come out. Some of the chains that I connected like the second way did. As you can see, it's slipping out now. But yes, it does look better, I think, with the second way. But you can always do that one in the front and just do the other ones in the back, however you would like. Okay, so this is the finished product. As you can see, there are some spaces where a bar technically should be, but it looks good on like this. So The base is kind of missing some pieces, but I mean, it looks really good. So I would just kind of go with it. If some of the pieces break, you don't necessarily have to replace them. So yeah, just kind of remember that, keep that in mind. I loved how it came out. It came out really, really pretty. So yeah. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you like and subscribe. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.